Okay, congratulations, sir, on cricket, and we are really thankful. The CG Consult team is really thankful. What was the idea behind cricket? Like, why this particular topic, like cricket?
See, firstly, let me understand one thing. That content in India for a long time have been going into a particular slow phase. It started a big boom when Hanuman really went and really did great wonders for. Hanuman did very wonderful for Indian animation industry. That time, a lot of people announced a lot of movies that will come on air and all that. And I think it really took off very well. But somehow local content was not like actually flying in that sense. So the idea was to figure out how to get local content, because if you notice, a lot of Indian companies are doing a lot of animation, but for the international market. So there's a great amount of skill set which is available over here and is not understood or not known internationally or anywhere for the matter. So the idea was to give a platform or work out a system which can actually work out, which can do content locally. Now, MAC is a premium education institute. It talks about basically teaching students animation skill set. Okay. Now, the idea was to figure out how the students can make wonderful films. So we are like into this 24 FPS films which have been going for the last 6 to 7 years, and students do make components, do short films. So the actual idea was actually to start to give the platform for the students to make film together. So thought was that why don't we get all these different films? Like it arrived at a point when the jury, when I was in jury of 24 FPS, and the thought occurred there are like 25 films, each are 3 minutes long films. If you can just join them all together, it can actually have a 75-minute feature film in front of you. So that was actually how it started, the idea. Everybody laughed at it, even I was laughed at it, I was in the industry at that time. So I think as time passed and as time went by, it started making much more sense to me as an idea. Somebody has to start it somewhere. I said, why not me? So it was. So I started like in last year August. I started batches all across India in the MAC centers. We had industry experts who can actually look through it, and the thought of doing a content of its own started. Now to answer your question, CricketX, by the subject, I want to do something very local content. I want to do something which is very much India. I didn't want to do anything regarding mythology. I think the market today, the youth or the children who they see are too much overburdened with mythology. I think we should do something very local, something Indian. So after mythology, what was very popular in India, I think answers your question. Cricket is a very popular game. It's with a particular age group, not ever done in animation. And I think it really sells it in the sense as of every Tom, Dick and Harry, in the sense every mother, father, the child, the grandfather, the grandparents, everybody loves it. You just have to give a good content, a good story. And the one thing which India, maybe in internationally also, they always like in any content, any story is you winning against all odds. That's the very much Lagan story or the Chak De kind of a story. So that's how it started. I was one day watching this movie like Chak De, and I thought wonderful concept for a great superstar like Shah Rukh Khan doing a content like this really makes his life wonderful. So I think that's how it started with. I said sports is an India we should look at, and it was just a matter of seconds for me to understand it was cricket that I should be doing a story on.
So, sir, can you please elaborate a little bit more on what is collaborative animation filmmaking? Can you just elaborate on that?
As a terminology, collaborative animation filmmaking?
Yes, yes.
See, collaborative animation filmmaking, I mean, of course, as a terminology says, is a group of people coming together and getting a great result for you. It's matter of figuring out what kind of people, what quality of people. It's always the right mix, the right blend, which can get you a good animation. That's why the collaborative works. Too many good cooks can't make a very good dish at all. So the idea basically was, which also Mac anyway perceives in, is the fact that we perceive the fact that a good teacher only can get a good student. And a good teacher need not necessarily be a great industry animator or great expert. You can be a great expert in your skills, but you can be in your individual rights or in a form of company, but may not be a great person in teaching. Okay, so there are two different aspects which is understood. So much earlier, since this is more on to the mentoring of a student, the student has to be mentored to the industry. It was a difficult way of figuring out, picking the right people from the industry who can actually are good skilled animators, but also can teach very well. Okay, so it's a collaborative animation effort. Is like, for me, it's how much the student, how much he can pull up from, and how much the mentor can make him pull up. For me, that is how I could consider as good collaborative effort.
Okay, so how did you prepare the students for such a magnanimous project?